Welcome to the Randy Report. I'm Randy Slavacek, your host. I'm also the writer and editor of therandyreport.com, where you can find me every single day on the internet reporting on the daily news cycle in terms of politics, pop culture, and entertainment news of interest to the LGBTQ community and its allies. In this week's headlines, a federal judge has ruled Title VII does not protect LGBTQ people from workplace discrimination. His verdict directly contradicts a 2020 ruling by the Supreme Court. A petition to ban the harmful practice of conversion therapy has garnered over 1 million signatures in the European Union, requiring the European Commission to provide a detailed response. Legendary adult entertainment star and Billboard charting recording artist Colton Ford has unexpectedly died at the age of 62. All that and more in this episode of The Randy Report. Judge Matthew Kacsmaryk, a far-right federal judge in the Northern District of Texas with a record of aligning with ultra-conservative legal positions, issued a ruling last week declaring that Title VII no longer protects LGBTQ people from workplace discrimination. The judge reached a verdict that Title VII only protects, quote, firing someone simply for being homosexual or transgender, but that it does not protect transgender or gay people from harassment in the workplace. Obviously, this decision directly contradicts with the U.S. Supreme Court's landmark 2020 ruling in Bostock v. Clayton County, which held that discrimination based on sexual orientation or gender identity is, by definition, sex discrimination. The case in Texas was brought against the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission by the state of Texas alongside the Heritage Foundation, a well-known far-right organization. In siding with the plaintiffs, Judge Kacsmaryk contended that different treatment of transgender employees does not constitute unequal treatment, reasoning that, quote, a male employee must use male facilities like other males, a remark that actually completely erases transgender identity. He extended that logic to dress codes and pronouns, claiming that requiring employees to adhere to clothing standards and pronoun use based on their assigned sex at birth is not discriminatory because it applies equally to everyone. That argument is similar to the discredited legal reasoning once used to uphold bans on same-sex marriage, that such laws didn't discriminate against gay people because they, like straight people, were allowed to marry someone of the opposite sex. Ultimately, Judge Kacsmaryk ordered the complete removal of all references to sexual orientation and gender identity as protected classes under Title VII from EEOC guidance. I fully expect this ruling to be appealed. A petition to ban the harmful practice of conversion therapy has garnered over 1 million signatures in the European Union, requiring the European Commission to provide a detailed response. The campaign was supported by several famous names in Europe, including singers Pierre de Mer and Angèle, as well as former French Prime Minister Gabriel Attal. Conversion therapy is a range of dangerous and discredited practices that falsely claim to change a person's sexual orientation or gender identity or expression. Such practices have been rejected by every mainstream medical and mental health organization for decades. The United Nations has called for a global ban on conversion therapy, describing such practices as discriminatory, humiliating, and a violation of bodily integrity. Yet, in the European Union, only 8 out of 27 nations, France, Belgium, Cyprus, Germany, Malta, Portugal, Spain, and Greece, have enacted a full ban on the dangerous practice. Although the petition is not legally binding, the European Commission is now required to issue a response. A federal appeals court upheld an injunction against Florida's ban on all-ages drag shows this week, finding that the law is vague, likely unconstitutional, and restricts protected free speech. The 11th Circuit Court of Appeals issued its ruling in favor of the drag-themed restaurant chain Hamburger Mary's in a 2-1 decision. The case will now be returned to the Middle District of Florida for a full bench trial. The appeals court's ruling upheld a district court's 2023 injunction in the case, which blocked the state from enforcing a law backed by Governor Ron DeSantis that established strict penalties for businesses that allow minors to view adult cabaret performances. Although the law does not specifically ban drag, its Republican sponsor, Representative Randy Fine, declared when introducing the bill that he intended the law to target family-friendly events with no adult content, such as Drag Queen Story Hour. In their ruling, 11th Circuit judges Robin Rosenbaum and Nancy Abudu agreed with the lower court's findings that the ban was unconstitutionally vague and created a chilling effect on free speech. Writing for the majority, Rosenbaum said that the law's broad prohibition against lewd conduct amounted to a prosecutorial skeleton key, by which state authorities could effectively ban any speech they consider obscene, even if that speech is protected under the First Amendment. Sad news as adult entertainment star and Billboard charting recording artist Colton Ford, whose real name is Glenn Sakuzian, has died at the age of 62. Friends of Ford shared on social media he was involved in a tragic hiking accident this past weekend and died on Monday. DJ and adult film director Chi-Chi LaRue shared the news on Facebook, writing, quote, "I'm so shocked and saddened to hear the reports about the sudden passing of my friend and icon, Glenn, also known as Colton Ford. You will be missed. Keep singing in heaven." In addition to a long, award-winning career in adult entertainment, including Gay Performer of the Year at the 2003 Gay-VN Awards, Ford also appeared in mainstream fare, including The Next Best Thing, Circuit, another gay sequel, Gays Gone Wild, and 3 seasons on the gay-themed TV series The Lair as Sheriff Trout. Ford also made his off-Broadway debut in 2011, playing a role in the musical Little House on the Ferry, a modern-day love story set in the legendary summer resort of Fire Island. As a recording artist, Ford released several albums and singles, including Tug of War in 2008, Under the Covers in 2009, The Way I Am in 2013, and the EP Next Chapter in 2015. His 2004 single, Signed, Sealed, Delivered, with Pepper Mache, reached number 9 on Billboard's Dance Club Songs chart. In 2005, the documentary Naked Fame chronicled Ford's journey from the world of gay adult entertainment to mainstream music. On a personal level, I'd like to add that in the early 2000s, Colton met with my husband, an entertainment publicist, to help him as he began his journey through professional music. Over the years, Michael has run into Colton several times, and each and every time, Michael said he was friendly, remembered Michael's name, and was very kind. Rest well, Colton Ford. And that brings me to the end of this episode of The Randy Report. If you enjoy catching up on LGBTQ news in a quick podcast, I'd appreciate it if you'd share it with your friends and hit that subscribe button. I like to think of The Randy Report as the 60 minutes of gay news, only shorter. And remember, you can find me every single day on the internet at therandyreport.com, where I cover the daily news cycle in terms of politics, pop culture, and entertainment news of interest to the LGBTQ community and its allies. Thanks for listening, folks. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.